All right. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Audio is good. We got chat filling up with beautiful people.
All right. Cool.
All right, boys, we're live.
We're live?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, this is Jay. Welcome to the Sakred Gaming Podcast, episode 1. Holy smokes, I'm so excited to get this thing going. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like Team Martin excited here to finally get this going. But just wanted to wish you guys all a happy new year. And we're going to be talking about some upcoming topics. I just wanted to go over those topics real quick. Then we'll do some introductions, and I'll let you guys let everybody introduce themselves. But we're going to be talking about multiplayer connectivity in 2016. Tabby's going to be taking that on. We're going to go into Fallout 4 with Ocho. And Clee's going to be talking about PC gaming and the competitive nature and everything around with that. We're also going to throw in some Destiny, talk about our favorite game of 2015, some games that we're looking forward to in 2016. And then we've got a faith topic. We're going to be talking about Christians and gaming in general, whether or not Christians should be playing violent video games and all sorts of things along that line. But hey, just wanted to turn it over. Ocho, you started off with the introduction. Tell us what you did, or give us some New Year's resolutions if you started any, or what you did for New Year's, or anything like that, and anything about yourself that you want to share.
Let's see. Well, for New Year's, I did mostly played Black Ops 3 with some friends online. So we kind of watched like, hey, Happy New Year, and then kept playing. But I didn't really make any New Year's resolutions necessarily. I've been working out lately, so I wanted to continue doing that. Actually, I lost, I think, about 15-20 pounds last year.
Nice.
So it's been going pretty good. I think we're going to continue with that and see what else happens for this year.
Sweet.
Good stuff, Ojo.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Clee, you want to go next?
Yes, sir. Hello. My name is Clee Clark. I guess is it evident as of late, I am a follower of Christ. Always have been, always will be. And I guess New Year's resolution wise and what I did. Well, I mean, first of all, if none of you know Kingdom Soldier, if you don't, no one knows him. Well, anyway, he's just black, and he's actually a really cool dude. He is a follower of Christ too, and he made this video talking about reading at least like one chapter a day of the Bible. And I wouldn't necessarily say that was one of my resolutions, but I think that is something that I've committed to making a habit. Is definitely trying to get at least like one chapter a day done, and then hopefully moving on to just completing the whole Bible on its own. Since I have read through the New Testament, but it's that factor of like really learning from it, really absorbing what's in there. That's more important than just saying, "Hey, I accomplished this feat." So going back through it, that's something that I definitely want to accomplish come this year.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome. All right, we'll go to the only white guy in this chat, Taboo.
Is there something in particular you want me to talk about? I know New Year's resolutions is one of them, but was that it or something else?
Yeah. Did we? What else did we say? Yeah, just New Year's resolutions.
Listening.
Introduce yourself. Anything about you?
All right. So I'm Taboo. I have a YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitch. Actually, all of our Twitch names are on the screen. But I've been, I guess, saved since I was 5. Saved, baptized, that whole thing, and then it kind of did like the typical, I don't know, Western Christian life, in and out of fellowship with God or whatever, and then feel pretty good now. Obviously, there's always room for improvement. In terms of New Year's resolutions, I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I do have a couple of goals that I've been trying to work on. I need to lose some weight, big time. So I need just a healthier lifestyle overall. I want to hit Master Prestige, and I want to get Dark Matter.
Oh, man.
Then.
That's a couple. I want to see where this beard goes over the next few months. And my wife and I, we want to build a house soon. So we're kind of moving towards that this year, getting our current house ready for all that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah, busy year.
Yeah, can you like lean over and show everybody your sexy beard, man?
There you go. A little bit farther.
I miss my beard now that I see you, man. In this group me chat that we used to have, I used to call Taboo Babyface, man, because he had a picture of him and his daughter, and they looked like exactly like the same young daughter.
It's true.
Has a beard.
What's that?
Now his daughter has a beard.
Yeah.
Oh,
You told her to turn up, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm Judgment Awaits. Don't really like going with that name, so I pretty much refer to myself as Jay or James. I also have a YouTube channel that you're obviously seeing this on, and if you see something in the comment section, actually Taboo right now has control of this of my account. So if you see something in there that's a little crazy, that's from him. But yeah, New Year's resolutions. This podcast was one of them. You know, and I've got some gaming resolutions that I actually want to talk about at the end of this. So I'm not going to get into that, but I also need to lose some weight. I actually won a weight loss challenge last year and won like $300 from that weight loss challenge.
Nice.
And I tell you what, I've put on all but about 10 pounds back. So I'm just getting ready for the next weight loss.
I was about to say, just bulk up for the next one.
That's right.
And then
That's
do it
right.
again.
So hopefully, yeah. Other than that, I want to really focus on my walk and just dying more to myself every day and letting people see Christ through me and through my YouTube channel. Made a lot of mistakes with my YouTube channel, done a lot of things, but hopefully I can get on the right track and
Advanced
do some
warfare.
things better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Worst $100 of my life. I spent on that thing because I always buy the hardened edition, so I get everything, all the map packs and everything like that. I don't even think I downloaded any of the map packs, but that's pretty sick. Ocho, Freak, I know. Oh, hey, happy birthday to Freak if you're watching, or if you watch this in the future. Today's his birthday, and hopefully we'll get Freak on an upcoming show. But yeah, let's get into the topics, all right? Tabby, you want to talk about multiplayer connectivity in 2016?
Yes.
Last
Oh
part.
my gosh. This is one of the most annoying things in games for me right now.
Rant incoming.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it civil. It's not gonna sound like me playing Black Ops with people, but so, all right. I've been playing online multiplayer games since Halo 2. So this is over 10 years ago now. I think it might be 11 years. And back then, I didn't know what hit detection was. I knew what lag was, and we figured out what lag switching was because people were doing these they were hitting the standby button on their routers, and it was causing everybody else to walk into walls, and they were able to take advantage of that. So we knew what that was, but the games always felt, apart from the people cheating like that, they felt good. They felt like you shoot people, they die. The way a game's supposed to. And that was 10 or 11 years ago. And now we're playing Black Ops 3. That's the game I'm playing primarily right now. And I'm constantly having games where I'm rubber banding, I'm glitching around like crazy. People that I'm trying to shoot are glitching around like crazy. There's all these issues with hit detection. I tried using the Shiva for a few games for headshots, and it's like bullets were just disappearing.
Nice.
I got this huge magazine, and I'm shooting, and it's a slow firing gun. And it's a difficult one to use, in my opinion. And so it doesn't help being handicapped with just bullets that vanish and don't land on targets. I actually think Ocho might have been in one of those games where I was doing that. But so this is really frustrating for me, where we have had good multiplayer connectivity experiences like in Titanfall, and Halo 5 has a really good multiplayer experience right now on console. Just to be in a franchise that's a AAA franchise with the kind of budget that Call of Duty has and Treyarch must have through Activision, to be dealing with these so-called dedicated hybrid systems or whatever it is that they use, but still having these subpar experiences compared to some that we've had in Titanfall 2 years ago. Even in Ghost had a pretty good reputation for having good hit detection, but it's just incredibly frustrating to me to be in 2015, now 2016, and dealing with these what should be rudimentary multiplayer connectivity issues. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with this Black Ops 3, with this franchise, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know if it's an issue of there's so many players they can't handle it with dedicated servers, or just going fully with dedicated servers. I don't know if it's a money issue. I mean, I think this game does $1 billion, doesn't it?
Easy.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it reaches at least close to that number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about the PC side of things? Do you see the same thing that we console players see?
Okay, well, with there being a substantial less play, I think on PC on average on Black Ops 3 there's probably maybe 5,000 online tops, and so if you see that's so much lower. But they still have the sense of a hybrid server where there's one person who is the host, et cetera, et cetera. But with most players like rocking an Ethernet port for like their online connectivity, you don't really see lag happening much too often. So for me, my experience on PC Black Ops 3 has been like rather flawless. Like I enjoy that game. I don't know, like it almost replaced CS for me for a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy, Tabs. Yeah, Tabs understands CS.
I'm pretty good at it, actually.
Thank you.
I can see that.
Yeah, but honestly, it's not bad on PC at all. But I have definitely been seeing the problems Tabs was talking about. Like, they need to incorporate some sort of dedicated server. But I can understand why they haven't, with there being so many players on console. Like it's almost not feasible, but at the same time I can't excuse it because you have games such as like Dota 2, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, who have like over 1 million more players, and they still implement servers. So like I just think at this point it's more of Call of Duty not willing to go that extra mile, seen as, you know, either way someone's still going to buy their game.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of it might come down to, and this is just pure speculation, might come down to a split in focus. Like we saw the two of the best examples right now, in my opinion, are Titanfall and Halo 5, and they're both like heavily Microsoft like backed and funded projects. So the Respawn developers with Titanfall, they didn't have to like do anything for the PlayStation. You know what I mean? It was all Xbox focused. So maybe that plays into it, and maybe Treyarch having to cater to PS4 and Xbox One and then PC as well. I don't know. Maybe that comes into it. You would think that this far along they'd have it kind of figured out, but I don't think I can't believe that it's a budget thing. You know, because they sell so many copies. Either they're paying the developers too much to develop the game, or whatever. But they're compromising. I think it's obvious that they compromise somewhere in the chain. And, you know, we just suffer for it and have to put up with it. But it's just bad when you look at a Treyarch game and it's like you got the same issues as we had in Black Ops 2 when it comes to connectivity. You know, when we've had 2 games since then, new technology. I feel like I have to have a networking degree to be able to like open my ports and to make sure I'm not on like a strict or moderate NAT. I don't know. It's just like it's 2016 now. You know, let's go.
You shouldn't have to do any of that.
Yeah, I know. I've watched quite a few Drifter videos, and anybody else out there that is, you know, putting that information out there, how to get a better connection and everything. Destiny, I tell you what. Now it's very interesting because in Call of Duty, it almost seems like you're kind of handicapped with that lower paying or that, you know, worse internet out there. But in Destiny, it almost seems like it's the opposite way. You know, that guy that's red barring, you can't kill them half the time. You can't even see them. They're skipping around the screen, and then they hit you. You know, very, very frustrating.
I remember playing Modern Warfare 2 back in, I had a PS3, and I always had the red bar, and mostly what I played was capture the flag, and so I always got the flag, and I could run with it, and if I could kill me, it was always fun, because like, they just couldn't shoot me because I was lagging.
He's just skipping across the screen. Dang. Yeah, well, hopefully.
Take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Ghost, that had some pretty good hit detection. I don't know I don't know how much the movement mechanic fits in there too, because AW, that was probably my worst hit detection Call of Duty that I've noticed, and maybe I didn't just give it enough of a chance. You know, I'm watching Freak videos, and it looks pretty darn solid right now, and I watched Ocho too, you know, and it looked pretty darn good. So I guess I don't know.
I think the movement might play into it. I know that like if somebody is sliding across your screen, you know, an enemy in Black Ops 3 is sliding across your screen, a lot of times it feels like those bullets don't connect. You know, they're like, it's like they split frames. You know, your bullets split frames for the player sliding across the screen. That's what it feels like. So maybe it does have something to do with it. I don't know if the A-Dub example is a good one anymore, because there's probably only like 15, 20 people playing it these days.
Especially on PC.
But that, you know, you mentioned Destiny. I think that's one of the biggest disappointments in multiplayer connectivity lately, because they are a Activision partner. You know, so like Activision's one of these publishers that has really deep pockets. And Destiny was and is this really cool game, really cool concept, and the multiplayer is just so like, if you get frustrated in Black Ops 3, you don't even think about going and playing Destiny PvP because it's extremely frustrating. So it's kind of sad to see that kind of thing with such a big partner.
Yeah,
in Activision.
Let's just blame Activision.
There you go.
Yeah,
I hate Activision.
I think the new EA.
Right.
Yeah. What about Battlefield? What's the hit detection like in that game? Have you guys played that?
I haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time since I played that.
Well, there's PC and console. I imagine there's a difference there, or is there?
I think so, like, because with my experience of playing Battlefield, and you get to choose what server you want, the latency and such, and usually it's fine for me. Like I usually find no qualms with actually going on the server trying to kill people. It's more of like, hey, you're shooting this gun and your bullets are spread out like a gigantic donut, so like you don't know where your bullets are going. That's the main problem. But hit detection overall, I think is rather solid.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. So let me ask you guys this. I don't want to, if you want to stay on this topic, but rank Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Where does it stand in your favorite Call of Duty? Toward the top, toward the bottom? What do you guys think, Clee?
Well, I don't know. Like, I can never take Call of Duty as like a serious kind of competitive game.
What?
I'm sorry. Like, I've always seen.
Can you drop him, Taboo?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Kick me from the call.
Anybody in chat want to take his place?
Hey, collapse. Hey, get in here. No. But I know people love Black Ops 2 ranked play, like that was, or like League play, like that was an absolute blast. People going for masters. I don't know. Like, it feels so ill-placed, especially with how they're having it worked now. Like, I've watched Black Ops 3 videos because I tried to get into Arena, and it is like one of the most broken systems I think I've ever seen in Call of Duty. I mean, there was one person who joined a match, and it was like a 6v3? Isn't that supposed to be 5v5? Like, why is another person on the other team?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that need to work on before, like, at least I see it.
Please look out behind you. Oh, never mind. Oh, man, that was scary.
Claps ranked it as his top 3 in his top 3 for Call of Duties.
Really?
He's spanking that game too.
Yeah, and
I saw his KD and everything and score per minute, and he's doing well.
Somebody else said Lewis said hit detection in Battlefield 4 is really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, that game is, and I don't want to sidetrack and go off on a tangent, but that is one game that I love watching, but every time I get in and play it, it just doesn't live up to my expectations. I don't know if I'm just not giving it a big enough chance, but I'm watching these people doing stuff, and then I get in and I play this, I don't know, 1 hour match, and it just seems to drag on, and I can't kill anybody, and I don't know. Maybe I just stink.
It's called practice. Like, you gotta go start shooting bots, put them on veteran, Nuketown, sniper only.
All right, Ocho, what about you? Black Ops 3, how would you rank it?
I would think top 3. I really like Black Ops 2. That's probably my favorite one. With the League play, I played a lot of that. I would say, like, I really liked Advanced Warfare too. Like, I know that wasn't a popular opinion, but that was.
We'll hold that against you.
For a while, that was my favorite game. Like, I liked it more than Black Ops 2, even, except for the streaks. Like, the Black Ops 2 streaks with the Swarm, I think that was the best set of streaks of any Call of Duty. And then Black Ops 3, the streaks on it. I wish, instead of the mothership, I wish there was a Swarm. Like, I tried to use the mothership and got no kills, like, at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was the other team was quitting out, so there weren't as many people left over. So it was like trying to find people, and nobody was around to get. So, like, by the time you get a mothership, you've already gone through like your like Wraith and Sentry Gun and stuff like that. So, and people are quitting during that. So once they see a mothership, it's like, all right, I'm out. But I would say top 3 or 4, maybe. Like you were saying with the League play in Black Ops 3, like, it's completely broken. I don't know. I haven't played it in a while since when I first played it. It was like you were saying, you'd get like 6v2 or things like that, where it's only supposed to be 4v4. And then you have like a whole like pick list of picking your specialist and having to reset up your classes every match. So it's kind of slows the game down, but it's once thing it gets fixed, I think it'll be pretty good. Uh-oh.
Sorry about that.
That was your timer. You're done, Dojo.
I'm out.
What about you, Tabby?
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the games I've played, and I've played since World at War or COD 4, whichever one of those came first.
COD 4.
Yeah, okay, so I've played since COD 4, and it's top 3 for me, but I've got it ranked number 1 on my list, and it's kind of surprising because Black Ops 2, COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, like, to me, those are almost like, I don't know. I guess they're all tied for second for me. But Black Ops 3, I'm really pretty happy with the movement mechanic in this game. And the rest of it's just like typical COD stuff, like the frustrating parts. But in terms of like arcade fun, this has been, I think, the most fun. Black Ops 2 was a lot of fun a few years ago. And just like when Modern Warfare 2 came out, that was like a vision, man. It was a revolution for me. But it petered out because the developers didn't support it, and they had one-man army, new tubes, commando, all that frustrating stuff that the community complained about and never changed. That would be like probably top of the list if they had fixed the game. But I think it's my number 1 favorite game right now.
Yeah, it's definitely my number 1 favorite game. I'd probably rank it second. Black Ops 2, probably my favorite Call of Duty time, just because of that VSAT dog swarm that you could run. Black Ops 3 needs to do something with their kill. Even the Hellstorm, I know they buffed it, but the Hellstorm's rough. Lightning Strike is still rough. They could buff the streaks a little bit. That'd be great. But I tell you what, hats off to Treyarch for innovation. I mean, I was really worried whether or not I'd like these specialists and everything like that. But I like them. They're pretty fun, and there's nothing that I don't. And I finally feel like I'm having fun again compared to AW. And I know there's some people that like AW, no slamming Ocho for his bad taste. But yeah, good stuff.
I like Ghost too.
Do you think if you had not played and enjoyed Destiny that you'd like the specialists in Black Ops as much?
That's a good question, man. I think I still would. It's funny how much they rip. I don't want to say ripped them off, but it's funny how similar they are. But yeah, I think I'd still enjoy it.
It's funny, the Crypto Keys guy looks kind of like Xur.
Yeah.
I remember Destiny getting a lot of hate from some of the Call of Duty community. You know, when you had your supers and everything, and it was like a free kill is what everybody complained about. Much like how Titanfall had like free Titans. I thought that was kind of interesting, and then just a couple of years later, we actually see the same or similar things in the game. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I think we heard those same things. You know, that just makes it too easy for people, and so yeah,
definitely
cool.
I kind of like support streaks. It's like when was it Modern Warfare 3 they introduced those?
Yeah.
So you
got at the bottom of my list.
I actually liked Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't great, but yeah,
I do think the support streaks was a pretty decent concept. Most of them were non-lethal though, right, back then?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my dad, he's 60. He was probably 60 years old when he was playing that, so that was perfect for him. He actually felt like he was contributing to the team, because he actually could get that UAV and everything like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I kind of abused the UAV and then the ballistic vest.
Oh man,
I would just run those two things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were in Ghost too, right? The ballistic vest. Wasn't there something like that?
I think there might have been, but I don't think it worked as well, or they kind of changed the way they worked. I could be wrong. Anybody in chat knows that? Let us know.
To me, it felt like it was more of like giving you like toughness for free rather than actually like being beneficial in terms of like reducing your damage. But that's just me though.
Yeah.
You died fast in Ghost anyway.
Yeah. It was crazy because in hardcore, it made it like you were playing core against people that were playing hardcore with that ballistic vest.
Oh,
so it was great.
I guess
our whole team would run that. We'd all run the UAV ballistic vest.
And then you could stack them.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Yep. After they wore off, you just put a new one on because they were laying all over the place. It was great.
I didn't think about that. That's really smart. Wow.
That's cheese, man.
Yeah, that's definitely way
cheese.
to cheese hardcore.
All right. Let's move on. Fallout 4, Ocho.
So Fallout 4, that's the game I've been playing. Well, actually been playing Black Ops 3 mostly, but Fallout 4 is the game I switched to when the lag and the hit detection just gets on my nerves too much, and I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down. And so it's a good play some Fallout 4. And I don't know, have you guys played it all? Any of the Fallout series?
Yeah, I used to play it on the PC and loved it. It was one of my favorite. It was probably one of the first games I played, and I absolutely loved it. I hated Fallout 3 though, and so I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that the one they called the Walking Simulator, or was that a different game? I thought it might have been Far Cry. I don't know. It might have been. It's one of those games. I remember somebody referring to it as a walking simulator because it was so much running around and walking around and stuff.
So it's like an open world, so there's a lot of walking. And actually, in Fallout 4, you have sprint, so you can sprint now. It kind of runs out after a while, but it uses your the action points. So as you're sprinting, those will count down, kind of like when you're using VATS. It'll count down towards that. So like it's kind of weird because like if you're using VATS and then you target the enemies, but you don't kill them, you don't have enough AP to run away. So it's kind of a balance between using those two. Haven't actually completed it yet, but I'm really enjoying it. The companions are kind of fun because you get to have a dog. I think that's
what other kind of companions?
You have there's several. I don't know how many there are, but there's at least 5. So you have the dog, like he was your dog back in the original world, and then you have your robot that was your robot in your house, so that can be your companion. And then as you're going through the wasteland, I think it's called the Commonwealth. So the nuclear bombs have hit in Massachusetts and the Boston area, so that's where this game is staged. But you start picking up people that can be your companion. Like one of them is the leader of a group called the Minutemen. So you can have him as your companion, but I think you can only do one at a time. So if you pick a new companion, it sends the other one back to one of your settlements. And so there's the Minutemen leader. There's what's the other one I got? There's a guy, I think his name is McCready. He works at this, he doesn't work there. He's like a mercenary kind of guy, but you can pick him up at one of the bars or whatever. He'll go. It's funny because like the companions kind of have their input on what you do. So like if you do good things for people, some of the companions will like you. Some of them, like McCready, won't like you because he's more in it for the money. So if you do something for free, he's like, it'll say McCready doesn't like that. Yeah. But like Minuteman guys, like their goal is to help people around the Commonwealth to rebuild the settlements and rebuild Boston. And so, like when you do good things for the people, then it'll say like I forget what his name is, but it'll say like he liked it. So instead of hitting I think it was karma score that you had in the previous games, like you'll have your companions that'll weigh in on what your decision is. Like if you use like the stem text and stem packs, yeah. So if you're using those, you can get addicted to them, and you guys won't like that. But there's some that are like
drugs. Okay,
got some Fallout fans in the chat.
Have you played? All right, so you played on PC, right, Ocho?
No, I played Fallout 3 and New Vegas on PS3.
Oh, so you're not like diehard Fallout. No. I just lost a lot of respect there. What about you, Clee? Have you played that on PC?
I haven't. I've had experience with past Fallouts. Okay, but what? Okay, look, I understand the game is fantastic. It is well optimized. It is loved, praised on the PC platform. But I have yet to invest in it. I'm still playing like Skyrim, like other campaign games, like Metro Last Light. I played that probably like 2 times over now. I'm loving those games. Okay, so give me a break. Nice, I'll get there.
I think that's why I struggled, like because I played Fallout 1 and 2 on PC. And then I went to 3 on the Xbox, and it just wasn't the same for me. I don't know. Something was different. So I only played it for like a couple days or something like that, and then kind of lost interest in it. Hey, did you guys hear, though? Somebody beat Fallout 4 on the survival setting, which is like the hardest, right? without killing anybody.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
You
know.
think like some of the quests are to kill people, so like how you get around that, I don't.
Yeah,
Check that out.
From what I read, it was like something dealing with who you align with. There's one person that you have to align with, and then you can get it done. I don't know. I don't know. Just thought that was pretty cool because I went around killing people. You know, it's the apocalypse. You know,
Because I figure, you see that super mutant, just go shoot it, or you
Yeah.
see that guy shooting at you, you shoot him back. Like that. Oh, whoa, here, let me
Yeah.
just walk around you, sir.
Yeah.
Just get out of here. Like, all right, peace, lover. I'm gonna use my epic little cannon I built to blow your head off. I'm sorry, it'd be cool.
Yeah, there actually is a cannon you can pick up.
Yeah.
A literal cannon from a ship.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no way.
That's,
Cool. Graphics wise, how is it?
I think people complained about it. It's not like hugely next gen graphics, but they're pretty good.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. One of the things that wasn't in the previous ones is the settlements feature. So I didn't think I was going to like that as much because like you normally just like to go through and do the quests and actually I haven't really done much on the main quests as I've gotten sidetracked on all these side quests and stuff. But yeah, like the settlements are kind of like you can build, you gather like all the stuff you can gather around the Commonwealth. Like in Fallout 3, you could pick up like coffee cups and stuff that you couldn't really do much with. They were just like kind of junk that you were carrying. But in Fallout 4, there's actually things you can do with almost everything you pick up because they can contribute to what you're building with your house, your guns, you can build beds and furniture for your house, and it's like you can build this whole settlement and have electricity and generators, and it's a kind of a world on its own. Like if you just play doing that for the whole time, and it'd be its own game.
Yeah.
You like rebuilds the Starbucks industry. I'm assuming you like get like a coffee cup. Like why not?
Yeah, you can have like your own store, so you can sell things to like some of the scavengers and stuff that are coming by. I haven't done that. I don't think I've ranked up enough to build those, but I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but I'd still try to do most of the quests versus like kind of hang out in the settlement and build that up.
I tell you what, we can't even get Ranger to play Black Ops 3 anymore because I always see him on that game. I think the one big reason that I haven't tried Fallout 4 is just because I know how much time it's going to take.
Yeah.
There's just no way that I can put that in and with everything else. But
yeah, I
one
don't
day.
want to time play it on that or Black Ops 3.
I'm kind of embarrassed about Destiny, how much time I have into that game. I was like, I mean, it wasn't as bad as some other people. I won't mention any names, but you can rack up 1,000 hours pretty fast.
Yeah.
Pretty sad. All right, Clee, let's talk about PC gaming and the competitive scene. What's up with that?
All right. Well, there's been a very large growing of both. Like, well, it's already existed, but it's really just kind of blown up. Games such as Dota 2, Counter-Strike, and League of Legends. People are just really loving the aspects about them. And it's not necessarily because of the gameplay itself, because if you look at those games, they're pretty simple. Like, 2 being MOBAs and Counter-Strike a basic FPS with some like different feels about it. But it was more of just like how large and involved people became, like, or I should say industries became with these games in themselves. Like, I'll use Call of Duty as an example. Like, if you see like their majors and stuff, like, they get decent views, right? Maybe like 30, 40,000 people. But the pro players aren't as like invested in the scene. Some like contributors such as like Intel or whatever like really don't care as much, and it's because there's a lack of interest from larger like groups that Call of Duty isn't faring as well. But like with these other games on the PC platform, like everyone is just eating it up. Like I give you an example, like Olaf Meister, he's a competitive Counter-Strike player for for Fnatic. Mm-hmm. And he tweets out just about every single day talking about competitive like rounds are going to go on, things associated with like say ESL, like ESEA. It's the fact that these players are they really care about the sport that they're going in, like that they want to get involved. Like they're pressuring everyone around them to like, hey, get invested in this platform. And because of that, like it's becoming that much more popular. Not only is it attracting those who were, like, say, on console, playing these other games, but it's also getting people to start gaming. Period. Ever since I started being a PC player, which is about 2 years ago, I've noticed like there's been such a climb towards these minute aspects. And what I mean by that is that just like the smaller things in the PC realm, such as like the games you can buy on there pretty cheap. The amount of people who actually get invested like heavily in their game. I'm not saying people don't on Call of Duty and Destiny, as you've told me. You've got like over,
Yeah.
1K hours. But yeah, we won't talk about that. But it's just amazing looking at how much people actually care and feel involved. And that's really just the premise here, is that people are beginning to realize, like, just how reasonable it is to have a computer and the things that you can do with it. And I mean, that's in itself, I think, impressive. Like, what do y'all think about that? Like, I know Tabs definitely has heard of like how big like these games are on Twitch and stuff, and how I always shove PC Master Race down his throat. So what do y'all think about computers in themselves, as a gaming platform?
I think it's great. I don't do any PC gaming at all. But the only reason that it's a turnoff for me is it's like Steam has made it a lot easier than it has been in the past, but it's still like updating drivers, and like it's just like the simplicity of a console just can't be beaten right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be casual and you just want to play a game, you hit the button, you open your ports, so you can get a open NAT or whatever, and then you start playing. But on PC, it's a little bit different. It's a lot better than it used to be. But if I want to play Battlefield 2, which was free on Steam a while back, there's just a lot more involved. You know what I mean? So it's a barrier to entry for some people. I know that I could sit there and just knock it out if I really wanted to play that game, but I don't know. I got games I'm playing on console right now. What I do think is really cool on PC is I think people, maybe the COD community, are underestimating Counter-Strike, because it's a really awesome game. I don't play it, but I love to watch it. I'll just go to Twitch and watch people play it, and it's really fun to watch. It's very tactical. It seems to be very balanced, except there seems to be a controversial patch that came out not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
But I just really like it, and I think the COD community, the casual COD community at least, is like sleeping on it. You know what I mean?
Now,
but I think it's a powerful game. There's a crap load of people that play it.
Is Counter-Strike that game with the really bad graphics and nobody aims down sight and just you can hip fire somebody across the map and stuff like that?
Terrorist win.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
But I tell you what, something that's kept me away from PC gaming is just the whole mouse and keyboard, because you're not going to be able to be competitive with a controller, right?
No, I mean, honestly, the way these games are built, like, they are primarily contoured for mouse and keyboard. Even like Call of Duty and games like that benefit from using this sort of control scheme, because like the whole factor of aim assist isn't needed. Like your precision is really like it's to an extreme that like we've classified as DPI, like dots per inch. Like with the mouse, say like your little retina scanner here, if you get a large enough mouse pad, like you can just imagine, say, like that space on your desk as being your monitor, and say if you move like say a centimeter, that's where your guy's going. Like it's simple as that. Like and to that extent, it makes it so much like easier to play games like first-person shooters, because you can be accurate. So if you do try and go and say like Black Ops 3 on PC with a controller, you're gonna have a pretty rough time because of that.
Yeah, there's no aim assist, is there, too, right? Or did they put some aim assist in there? Or
well, when you use a controller, there is aim assist.
Okay.
But it's kind of like futile. Like, if I'm being honest here, it's really not that beneficial.
Well, I tell you what, I've watched your Black Ops 3 videos, and it is amazing how fast it seems like it moves on PC compared to console. Like, you're flying around there, just nailing people and everything like that. It is. And I'm like, this is why I don't play PC. I could not compete. I'm 40 years old. There's no way. I'm struggling with Minecraft. With the keyboard and mouse on Minecraft. I can't handle that, let alone something moving that fast.
Like the only games I played on PC were like Civilization, so where speed doesn't really matter on that. It's like just the strategy game.
Right.
And one thing I'm jealous of in Fallout 4 is that you have mods. So you can. There's like one mod that lets you add like. One of the things in Fallout 4 is like instead of showing the whole dialogue when you're choosing what your character is going to say to other people, it only says like one word, like sarcastic or agree or yes or no, things like that. But this mod lets you see what the character will actually say. But and they said that mods will come to Xbox One and PS4 eventually. But that's one thing that I'd like to see, at least on consoles. But it's one of the things that I like about PC games, but not. That I've really gotten to play them that much.
Right, and that is definitely one of the reasons why people do like decide to become like PC players, is just because of like how much you can customize things. And I think that's alluring in its own sense, because they really do need to bring that sort of like development to consoles, because like just imagine the amount of people who would enjoy their games having the ability and not getting banned for like just tweaking something to their liking. And I'm not talking about multiplayer wise, like that should never be like messed with. That should be like always on the same level. But say if you want to play like, you know, like the Call of Duty campaign differently, you know, add some sort of like different element to it, you know, you can still even get banned for that. You know, I've seen people who messed with Black Ops 2's campaign and ended up losing their account. But like, you know, on that note, it's also something that is tedious. You know, like it's, you know, having the mod is cool and all, but you have to actually, for some of those, you know, go into the game files, like do a little bit of programming. It does require a little work, and that is, like, as Taz was saying, the big qualm with PC gaming is that it requires a little bit of self-effort to get what you want out of your system. I mean, you know, if you want to shoot better, sometimes you got to get a better mouse. If you want to have easier controls or something like that, sometimes you got to get a keyboard that has different macro keys. And with the console, all you need to do is just pick up a controller and, you know, you get going. You know, that's it. But I definitely like would implore people to go for like, at least try it. You know, get your feet wet, and maybe you know, the complexity will eventually turn to simplicity, and you know, you realize that it's also, you know, it's a very capable platform.
Yeah, I've noticed just going from a standard Xbox controller to one with paddles. You know, that first 3 hours, you're really struggling. What are you laughing about, Tab?
KS is like. He's holding a freaking Clee roast in the chat.
Yeah. Hey, I'm used to this, okay? This is nothing new to Clark.
You don't have any qualms with that, Clee?
No qualms. No qualms.
All right, let's move on. It was one thing I was going to say, though, about that, when you were talking about competitive side, if you look at the top games that you can make money in playing professionally, you'll see Call of Duty is kind of towards the bottom of that list.
Oh, yes, very much so.
There are quite a few games that are making a ton of money. I was really shocked because I thought Call of Duty players were making some serious bank. Can a 40-year-old say bank?
I don't know. Let me think about that one.
Yeah, get back to that.
Say cheddar.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's move on. Favorite game of 2015. My favorite game was... had to be Destiny, man. And when I said that I ranked up about 1,000 hours, in all fairness, you know, half of that was just traveling back and forth to the tower, you know, and having to watch those cinematics on my third character, you know. But man, I put some serious time into that game, and it was a pleasant surprise. I was really excited. I'm kind of at the point where it's a grind way too much nowadays, and there's not enough to keep me going. But I can't wait for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But what about you, Tab?
Destiny, definitely. The Taken King came out in 2015, and it made Destiny 1 what it should have been all along, I think. I enjoyed Destiny from day one, but when Taken King came out, it kind of felt like the game it should have been all along, and then there just wasn't enough, like, there's just not enough content to keep you playing it for, you know, after 1,000 hours or whatever, which that's okay.
Yeah,
you spend $100 on a game and get 1,000 hours out of it, you're doing pretty good, especially if you had fun. So,
yeah.
I mean, I was trying to think of the other games that I played in 2015, and I guess Black Ops would be another good example, but Destiny, I don't think there's any competition in my book.
For 2015. Yeah, it's been frustrating here lately because I've been trying to stay in Destiny, doing Nightfalls and trying to get some stuff and taking my son through it, which I'm having a blast doing that with him. But when you get a ghost shell, and you guys might not be familiar with what a ghost shell is, but from the Nightfall, like 4 out of 6 times, I mean, I'm ready to rage a little bit against Bungie for that end game loot, man. I don't know, just been frustrating.
They seem to be trying to avoid, or they're trying to do the same thing that a lot of other like MMO type games do, and that's like old content becomes kind of irrelevant, I guess. And I don't know if that translates well into Destiny, because like the Vault of Glass is a raid, and the what's it? Not King's Fall, the Dark Below or whatever, where you kill Crota. Those raids were like pretty fun. The Vault of Glass was a lot of fun, but there's no reason to play it at all right now except for fun if you can find 6 people to run it with. And I don't know. I feel like they should maybe just change the paradigm a little bit, because they're already this kind of hybrid game that leans one way one day, another way the next day. But it'd be cool if like there was a real reason to go back to the Vault of Glass, whether it be a shader you're chasing or anything. It'd be cool if there was a reason to go back to it.
Yeah, what is that game? They seemed like they had
Warcraft.
that same mindset when it came to the loot and going away. But yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to play Vault of Glass. That's still one of my favorite raids. But
What about you, Cleo? What's your favorite one?
Is anyone surprised? First of all,
Minecraft?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I love building. No. Counter Strike. Jay was about to get dismissive
don't
about
get going bad on Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't find Minecraft to be competitive enough, But Counter Strike honestly has been my favorite game of 2015. I started playing it around January of I guess 2015. Yeah, like I've been playing this game for almost a whole year now, and it's just like it's so different. It's one of those games where you can get better and better at it, but you'll never master it, just because of the amount of RNG, which is random number generation, that is involved. It's more of just understanding. Like, not only do you have to play your game, get well at aiming, but you've also got to kind of delve into the psychology of the person you're going against. Are they gonna go here? Are they gonna go here? Like, what is their thought process as I'm trying to like kill them and hopefully win the round? And it's been a journey for me. Like, I started off, and this is kind of embarrassing to say because most people never start off at this, but I started off at Silver 1, very bottom of the barrel of the ranks. And if you ever hear that, like, because most people who are decent at the game started like Nova and stuff, that's pretty terrible. But through the time, I've actually worked my way all the way up to 1 rank below the highest you can get, which is Global Elite. And it's been a journey. Like, not only have I felt like I've developed as a PC player, but I've also realized like just the amount of relationships I've formed from this simple game. Like, it's not just a game sometimes. It's a really an avenue to communicate with people. And because of that, like, just not only the game itself, but the social elements involved with that, like, Counter-Strike has been my favorite game of 2015.
Awesome. I love how Clee explains RNG to us Destiny players.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, like.
What about you, Ocho?
I'd like to say Destiny because I've heard great things about it, but like every time people talk about it, it's like they start speaking a different language, like the Gyllenhaal gun and all this. So I just never really got into it, and my work schedule changed, so I was never able to play with you guys. So it was just kind of weird. Yeah. So I think like being able to play with someone and like kind of to learn all the things that are going on, like I think that's a big part of it. And so I never really got into it that much. I think I still got to level 24 maybe, 24, 25, somewhere there.
You can pay your way now. You
Ah.
don't even have to grind it out.
Yeah.
No way.
And then
Yeah,
with
that's
Taken
pretty
King,
sad.
did you have to basically buy the whole game again, or how did that work?
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Because it looked like it was $60. Like, I already have the game, and it's DLC. You're like okay.
It was kind of controversy because some people were getting a better deal than people who had been playing it and buying the DLC, and we felt like we were getting kind of messed over a little bit because they were getting it so much cheaper because they got to get the whole entire game for like $60 or something like that.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I remembered it.
Yeah. there are actually some Xbox One bundles out there where you can get like the Destiny the Taken King, plus the one for like $320, and I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, like you have people like JA who's like dropped over $120 on this game, and like there's really no difference at that point. Like you're just getting jacked, while everyone else is just kind of like clapping their hands, like, hey, deals,
It's true.
Yeah, but I think my favorite game was Advanced Warfare. I was looking at my stats on the app, which I'm surprised there wasn't a Black Ops 3 app yet. But
Oh yeah, that reminds me too.
All right, man. See you.
He stole his glasses. But I had like 570 hours played in Advanced Warfare.
Wow.
Which I was doing the
Wow.
calculations here, which is like 23 days. That's almost a month.
Man.
But yeah, like I really like that game. Like the movement, I think being able to dodge from people and escape out of gun situations, and then be able to turn around and like fire on people like that. Was really enjoyable.
And you have a scuff, right?
Yeah, I think
Because
that's
yeah,
big.
yeah, I agree, because that's the game. That's like the first Call of Duty where really it's almost like you had to have a scuff to be really good. I don't know. I could be wrong there, but with the movement and what you could do with the movement, you could really. It was a real advantage in my opinion.
Yeah.
Having
I agree.
something like
Yeah.
Yeah, because having to take your like finger actually off the thumbstick to like jump and stuff, like that was an extreme disadvantage, because you have someone who has the paddles, like they're still aiming as they're flying through the air, and you're just kind of trying to keep up. Like it's just not feasible at that point.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love my paddles in Black Ops 3, and they're great. That is really nice.
I love my
jump
space
paddle's
bar.
broken though.
I tell you what, with Black Ops 3, you said something. I'm really surprised that they haven't done anything with clans. Yeah, you do have the competitive that's kind of struggling, or the competitive that we could get into, not like Optic or somebody like that.
Right.
Make sure we put Optic in the title. Since we mentioned
yeah, there you go.
Optic Buckshot.
yeah. I was surprised though
Censor.
that there was nothing for clans or anything like that. But that's all right. Let's move on, because we're getting a little bit long. Give me one game that you're looking forward to in 2016, Tab.
I haven't played anything from the series before, but Far Cry Primal. I think it comes out in February. And I don't know anything about the series, but the trailer looks awesome.
That did.
Yeah.
That does look good. It's
Have
got
you
me
guys seen
interested.
it?
Oh yeah. It's on my wish list already.
Well, if you've played any of the games before, you're more than welcome to tell me about them here or later. But it just looks awesome, like these like prehistoric animals or whatever, and humans, obviously, apparently trying to survive next to them or whatever. It looks like freaking ton of fun. Looks like maybe like inspired by Ark a little bit. Maybe not.
That's a game that looks fun.
It does look fun.
Yeah.
Oh, the game's a blast too. Yeah.
Clee, what about you? What are you looking forward to 2016?
All right, so y'all gonna go ahead, like laugh for me real quick. Go ahead, get your laughs out. Go ahead. Okay, all right. Yeah, there you go. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I'll emphasize a nerd in a sense of I enjoy like anime and such. So go ahead. All right, see, judges already smiling. So the only game I'm looking forward to, at least this moment, this probably gonna go on, is Naruto Ninja Storm 4. Okay, next.
Do you have like a runner-up?
Okay. Sadly, no. Like, I have yet to have any sort of like game that's coming out at least on PC that I've really like felt esteemed for.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, we'll probably see. I give it like a good week or two. I'll find something different.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a new like Minecraft update or something.
Yeah,
We've got Dark Souls 3, Dishonored 2.
Oh, yeah,
what else?
Dishonored.
Yeah.
Dishonored. Yeah.
I've never played that.
I've
I've never played Dark Souls 1 or 2 either.
I think I'd want to rip my hair out if I played Dark Souls.
I've heard that game is rough, man.
I tried playing it when it was free on the Xbox, and I was done after the first level. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how they expect you to get anywhere on that game is ill.
Yeah. Ocho, what about you?
think the Mirror's Edge sequel.
Yeah.
So I think it's called Catalyst. They had a preview of it, I think, at E3 or one of the shows this year. But I really liked the original Mirror's Edge. I had it on PS3. And they have like a iOS Mirror's Edge, and I think it might be exactly the same as the console version. It's not like just minor differences for the different platform, but like it played basically the same way. So I'm looking forward to the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Have you guys heard of Recore? New game coming out.
No.
It basically you've got these cores that you put into like different robots and get kind of different abilities. So that kind of got me interested. But the one thing that I really liked when I heard about it was by the guys who did Metroid and there was another game and Mega Man, which two games that I don't even know if you guys played. I'm showing my age, but those were two games that I grew up with that absolutely loved. And to hear them being involved in this, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that game holds.
Mm-hmm. There's also The Division, which seems exciting, but I didn't want to mention it in the beginning because it seems to keep getting pushed back. I don't know if we'll see it in 2016.
Yeah. I think there's another Ghost Recon coming out, which I played like one while back, and I tell you what, the sequels from it just haven't been the same for me. I haven't been able to get into them. But
same here.
I think Uncharted 4 got pushed back too.
Did it?
Yeah. I don't have a PS4 yet, so I haven't really been keeping up with it that much, but I think I just saw it in one of the gaming site newses.
There's another one too. I think it's an Xbox exclusive, maybe. And it seems to be like a hybrid between a video game and like a television series. Have you guys seen this? It's the guy can like manipulate time or whatever. It looks really, really interesting, but I don't know if it's coming out this year or not. I just can't remember the name of it right now.
No, Sounds interesting though.
Looks awesome.
I think Mass Effect has a new one coming out.
Ooh.
Trying to think what else that I've heard. Are we going to see a
Quantum Break? There it is.
too?
Stephen Ramsey.
Quantum Break?
Thank you,
Is that what
bro.
you said?
Yeah, he's saying it's this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look that game up if you haven't already. It looks. I mean, we look for innovative all the time in video games, right? And we don't find much of it. We see a lot of remakes. This one looks really like new and interesting, real fresh.
I'm down for a new series, something fresh. Yeah, that'd be good.
Freak got me into getting what was that game? Watch Dogs.
I don't know, that was like his whole like obsession for like a week. Like, oh my, like he grinded the heck out of that game.
He even made his wife play it, if I remember.
Yeah,
he did.
Yes, that was so funny when she screamed.
I still can't hear out of my right ear anymore.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Speaking of awesome videos, man, Counter-Strike. I remember Clee's video about whether or not he was going to get married. That's a favorite of mine. Saying he wasn't. Is that changed, Clee?
Well, I think like I wasn't really saying I wasn't going to get married. It's just
you did.
No, that isn't what.
Yeah, you did.
That's exactly what I said. No, I'm more of a saying that it's not something that I'm worried about, like something that I really think is like my sort of avenue. Now, looking at it now, because some time down, like I think it's definitely something that I'm heavily considering having engaged with some. Wow, that's the wrong word to say. Having talked to girls over a good period of time about like relationships and stuff, I think it's something that I would love to have, but it's still not. I'm not gonna directly pursue it. If it happens, it happens. If it's God's will, then yeah, definitely I will take like Firma as my bride. But I'm not.
Kingdom too.
All right, let's get onto our faith topic. I don't know about you guys, but being a gamer, especially being an old gamer, that's a whole nother topic, being 40-something, but it seems like the church has a stigma about gaming. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it seems like there are some people that kind of look down on gaming. I remember Mark Driscoll did a sermon, basically said, time to put your video games away. You're basically a boy if you're still playing it and everything like that. But have you noticed that stigma or that kind of? I don't want to stereotype, right? Because there are plenty of churches that aren't, or plenty of Christians that aren't. But have you noticed that stereotype in the church where kind of gaming is looked down on?
I have an example that I could share about that. And I don't want to say this is like an institutionalized stigma. I think it's just like a cultural thing with some people. But my pastor at my church, he did this series on biblical manhood and biblical womanhood, womanhood, like what it means to be a man biblically and what it means to be a woman biblically. And part of the manhood part was that men should be providers, protectors, and priests in the home, in the household. And he made a joke during that sermon about how, you can't be a provider and sit around playing video games all day, that kind of thing. And it got a good laugh out of the congregation. I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, does he really think there's a problem with playing video games? And I was thinking about one of his big hobbies is to go sit in the woods in the cold deer stand and look for a deer to shoot, which is cool. It's not something like I've gone with my dad before and I'd take a book with me. Like reading in the deer stand. But so it doesn't appeal to me, but like he'll go sit in the stand for hours and look for a deer. I'll go sit on a comfortable chair for hours and look at a monitor and shoot virtual people. And they're both equal wastes of time, I guess, if you let them be wastes of time. But so yeah, I think down here in the South, there's no stigma associated with sitting in a deer stand for 3 hours, 4 hours and looking for a deer. In comparison, there'd be more people that disagree with the idea of sitting in front of a computer screen for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. I know it's just with sports. It's perfectly acceptable to, sit all day and watch football. But if you're playing video games, I don't know, What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I haven't really experienced much with people looking down on video games, really. It's mostly been like just the time, like how you're spending your time, and which I spend a lot of time playing video games, but I don't watch that much TV. So I think that's another, like, it's a pastime where maybe it's not that useful as far as like being a provider or a protector, but it's a time of rest and kind of tuning down and having an outlet for maybe a little bit of rage you may build up during the day, and just have an outlet of decompressing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, time is definitely a valid, something to talk about, and we can talk about that here in a minute. But yeah,
plus YouTube money. I mean, you can provide with that.
Oh,
okay, Chance. Oh.
All right. What about? All right. So here's a question that I get a lot. What about we're all Call of Duty players, all right? What about the whole violent video games? I just got into a discussion with somebody saying that Christians shouldn't play violent video games. In fact, the very first multiplayer game that I got on a console was Call of Duty 4. And I was playing with a guy and got into a room with him, and he found out I was a Christian. And he's like, what are you playing a game where you kill people, and kind of giving me a hard time about it. Have you guys noticed that or encountered that? Or what do you think about the whole question about whether or not Christians should be playing violent video games?
Well, I see it as a hobby that, like, you take upon, like, say, every day. Like, going back to, like, Tab's hunting thing, to me, it's not something that, like, directly affects, like, your behavior. Like, this is just a game. It's a sense of enjoyment. It's like you going to, like, watch, like, Star Wars, and since all those people are, like, slashing and cutting each other, oh, you're gonna be violent because of that. Well, I mean, even though you directly control the characters, I disagree that that's the fact. I mean, it's simply a form of entertainment. Now, if you do take it to a point of, like, trying to, conflict yourself with sort of morals that are associated with it, then I can kind of see why that argument holds, like, true, but I don't really think it is true because it's individually based. Like, if someone goes and kills someone, like, they're already going to have that idea in their head rather than a game, like, stimulating it. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think the morality thing is a big thing, because I remember there was a big outrage in Modern Warfare 2 where you had the No Russian mission?
Yeah, Russian. No
Where you
Russian.
go through the airport and shooting civilians, and like I don't think you actually had to shoot them. You could just go through and not shoot them. But yeah, I think that's usually the issue that people have, is like the morality of killing versus just being violent. Like killing virtual characters isn't the same as going out and killing a person, and so there's definitely a separation there. But there's just the morality of wanting to not influence your character and your spiritual walk in that way.
Yeah, I know. For me, if you look at the Bible, and there are soldiers in the Bible that killed people. David was a soldier, Joshua was a soldier. They did violent things. If I'm playing a soldier in a video game, I don't have a moral issue with that. If I'm going around killing innocent people or Russians, I don't know if there are any innocent Russians, but no, just kidding. I'm from the Cold War era. I'm from the Cold War era. Right? But for me, that's a change. There's definitely some red flags, like with certain games where I don't want to be participating in those things. Whether it's like I was saying earlier, going to a strip club in the game or something like that, I'm going to steer clear of killing civilians, in those types of games. But as far as being a soldier, it's just not an issue as far as I'm concerned.
I know it felt different to me. I played GTA 3 like way back in the day, and I'd sit there with my brother who's like 5 years younger than me, and we'd play the game. And I don't know, it felt like this wasn't long after 9/11. I don't think. I don't know. But I remember 9/11 feeling like really fresh on my mind, and I know that it felt really bad to get like a bunch of stars and having all the cops coming after me, like, and then like sniping cops. Like for me internally, that felt bad. But I don't feel anything internally on the negative side of shooting like a virtual terrorist or anything like that.
Yeah,
which is weird. But I will say that whether video games cause violence in people or not, or inspire it, I don't think it does. But I do think there's a input-output concept. Whatever you put in to your senses, your hearing, your thoughts, whatever, I think you are more likely to produce that in your own life. I'm not saying violence, but I'm saying if you're putting negativity in, I think you're going to get negativity out a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So that's just the way I see it. That's why I try to balance it so much with positive input as well,
Yeah. Well, and if you think about kids today, all right, because it seems like a lot of parents are just letting kids be raised by TV or video games. They just, they have them up in their rooms. They're just allowed to play with them all night and everything like that. And, if that's the only input that you have going into their lives, I see some definite concerns. Mm-hmm. I get kids that all the time want me to contact their parents and tell them, hey, would you talk to my parents and tell them that it's okay to play Call of Duty and everything like that? I'm like, you got to subscribe and like and send me a donation and I'll do it. No, there's no way I'm going to overrule a parent and or anything like that. And I tell you what, if there's anybody listening to that, your conscience says, hey, you don't want to play this, that's awesome. Follow the Holy Spirit's leading when it comes to that. I don't want to encourage anybody away from that. Mm-hmm. But what about gaming? What are the useful things that you've seen when gaming? Can we use it to evangelize? What do you think, Clee?
Oh, I agree 100%. I'm actually part of this community called Solid Rock Gamers, and they're on every single platform. And this, like, their main drive is to have that interaction spiritually with people, and it isn't really through games such as like Grand Theft Auto and such. Like we don't hit on that, just because it really is morally like I see GTA as wrong personally, but like games like Call of Duty, Minecraft, Tats, and then just other games where you see a lot of casual individuals who just go there and have a good time. I think it is definitely a great avenue to present that sort of gospel. And I do think sometimes we do get carried away with our own experiences while we're playing the game. We don't think about what we can do while we play it, but I still see it as just, even if you go beyond that, it's still a way to get to know people, to become just engaged in their lives. And if you think about this like as a community, our Christian community on YouTube, like all these people who you've never met in person, but you can almost say like you know them like a best friend. It's really weird, and it's through this thing that we're very alike, and it's gaming. Like this is what is like brought people together. So like yeah, I will agree like 100% that gaming can definitely be a positive.
Yeah. What about you guys? Anything to add to that, or
It's
thoughts?
definitely like this group here wouldn't have been together at all except for gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known any of you guys, and I probably wouldn't have liked JA being an Ohio State fan.
Oh, yeah, definitely. OH.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was my very first YouTube video. I talked about my reason for wanting to do YouTube, and that's because like locally, I have friends that aren't into games and aren't into music or competitive multiplayer, any of that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'd really like to have somebody to talk to about it. So I just started talking to like the vast open wilderness of the internet, and I was able to connect with you guys and people like you with similar interests that are in other completely different parts of the country. And I think that's super cool, and it's something that if I were born 100 years ago, obviously I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be limited to my locality, and I just think it's super cool to be able to connect with people like you guys and other people who have similar interests. And so part of what makes that cool is like we have a lot of division in the Christian church, locally and across the globe. And like whatever background, religious background you guys come from, like we have a lot of common ground, and for some reason we're able to like get past any weird theological differences that we might have because of whatever denomination we grew up in or whatever. And I just think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we've been able to talk through theological issues in our group chats, without anybody getting mad at anybody, with understanding, and I've really learned different points of view. We've even been able to talk politics, which, is sometimes something you must steer clear. Yeah, I don't want to get into politics right now, but
Next episode.
Yeah, next episode we're going to talk about who we're voting for.
Kanye 2020.
Gosh.
But the fellowship aspect, it's been amazing how close I feel to people that I've never met. It's crazy. And I've had conversations where, we'll be gaming and somebody will say, hey, I'm praying for you, or anything I can pray for you about. And I think that's what you're talking with Solid Rock Gamers. There are these awesome communities out there. How can people follow?
3-Day Respawn too.
Yeah, 3dayrespawn.com. How can people find Solid Rock Gamers, Clee?
Oh, they actually have a website, and I don't know if Rex is still here. But if you follow them on, or if you check them out on Facebook or Twitter, just at Solid Rock Gamers, and on Facebook it's just Solid Rock Gamers. They have both the, like the advertisement. They have both the links to the website and also an application if you'd like to join. It's pretty like they're open to everyone, and they want to make sure that just like there is like at least some sort of like positive influence out there that's implementing the seed of Christ. So just check them out on social media, and you'll get connected. Yeah.
I can't believe how many people like reach out to me and say, I didn't know there were other Christian gamers, or they want to play with you because they're looking for that fellowship aspect. They're looking for those other people, and I love that we have these communities out there. And it's something I'd like to get going with Sakred, Sakred Gaming, just getting that community aspect and everything like that. Let's talk about dangers, because we talked about the good things. Actually, the very first person I led to Christ was through an MMO called ogame.org, and I was talking to them, and they reached out to me, and they're like, are you some kind of Christian or something like that? And I'm like, oh crap, this conversation is going to go really bad. But over like a month, just got to know this person, ended up leading them to Christ. So ever since then, I've seen the aspect of it. But let's talk about the negative, because there are some dangers, or there's some things that we need to be careful when it comes to gaming. What do you guys think? Any negative aspects?
I think there are some addictive aspects of it. Like you're always wanting to get to that next level or that next mission or that next thing, where you start neglecting things in real life to like finish things in a kind of a virtual life. And I think when that's the case, and I think that's probably the biggest danger, is just how like you're spending your time versus like doing like real things in real life that need to get done, and you're ignoring those to play a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen kids up like when I do my Zer video at 4 a.m. I'll see like kids that I know in my youth group that are online playing at 4 a.m. On that school day, and I'm like, oh man, so I'll send them a message, hey, get off, get to bed, But, yeah, and I know that's been something that I've had to really watch out for. I tell you what, my wife has been a big help with that, keeping me accountable. I haven't always appreciated that, but yeah, definitely. Any other dangers that you guys think of or see?
Just that time sink. I'll just echo it again. Compromising on other things. To play games. It's huge.
Yeah, I shared with these guys in here when Black Ops 3 came out. I'm pretty embarrassed about this, but I'm gonna put it out there. They asked me to preach at church, and I actually turned them down because I did not want to miss out on the release of Black Ops 3 because I knew, like, when I preach, man, the week before I'm solid into the word, really studying, putting a lot of time into that, and I was like, man, I really don't want to because Black Ops 3 is coming out, so I turned it down. So I feel pretty bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
A couple guys said rage in chat, which I've never ever raged.
Yeah, totally, Tabs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. I've said some things, man. I'm trying to get out of this habit of calling people camping girls.
Yeah, I remember that whole commentary.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot better, but yeah, I rage against. I rage against campers, and here's the thing. Half the time I'm camping.
Yeah.
It's I'm a bit hypocritical there.
I think another thing is like the culture of like people, like the language you're talking about. Like it kind of changes, like because there's that rage is kind of there, and then maybe things you wouldn't say in real life, really, but you're actually on mic and in the game. Like people saying they're raping other people in the game and things like that.
Yeah, that anonymity, is that the word?
Anonymity.
Thank you. But yeah, you hear like 12-year-olds, tell them that they're gonna sleep with your mom and everything like that. I heard I had a pastor friend that played, and that kid said something about his mom, and he just went off and threatened him and said he was going to fight him and take him. He just went nuts.
Wow.
And he quit playing video games.
No.
Kind of due to that and what it was doing to him. So yeah, that's a good point. There's definitely some dangers when that comes into play.
I know a big problem that I faced was that, like, I started to play as my identity in the games I played. Like, it wasn't like who I was, the social interactions I had like around my life. It was my progress and the success that I had within this video game that really signified who I was. And it was scary, like, because I wasn't cognizant of it until like this one day. Like, I just looked up. It was around 6 a.m. and I was thinking, just like what am I doing? Like, what is this? Because like I remember, like, you make like a little mistake, say you're playing Call of Duty, you're like, oh man. But it got to the point where like I would do something just so simplistic that like it would just destroy my whole day. Like, I would go to work just mad, angry, upset at myself for accidentally not hitting a headshot. And that's definitely something you've got to be very wary of, is that you can get so invested in a game that you forget that this isn't you. This game is simply a means of entertainment, and if you allow it to go any farther than that, it'll destroy you. And and that's why even now, like, I definitely, man, I guess let's just be honest, it's Counter-Strike. I definitely had to pull I figured y'all knew that. But I had to pull myself back from it. Like, I barely play by myself anymore. Like, if I play Counter-Strike, it's with a group of friends. And that's one way that I had to finally rein it in. So just be careful. Like, have fun with the game, enjoy it. It's all right, 4 or 5 hour sessions, but just don't let it get to a point where that is you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've noticed my own life too. Like, I'll be playing and I'll get mad at my teammates and kind of go off on them, and it can hurt some relationships. Or Comp just did a video. If you watch him, Complementarium did a video about remembering some guy. Remembering the opportunities that we have. I remember I was doing a raid once, and I was doing it with some Christian friends, and there was one guy that came in that wasn't a Christian, and he was just annoying the snot out of me, and I went off on him. I mean, I literally went off on him, and then somebody pulled me, I think it was Freak, pulled me aside and said, hey, you're not having a very good witness in there, and I forgot about that. And it's something that I think we all need to remind each other about, and that's where that the having other gamers that share the same faith that you, that can hold you accountable, really helps you out. But I'm sure you guys have never done anything like that.
No, can't say that I ever have ever.
Yeah, I'm totally have never done that to about 5 or 6 people on Counter Strike. Yeah, not at all.
How do you guys put up the fence? How do you guys prevent yourself from getting too involved in playing video games too much? Because you said you pulled away, Clee. You had to step back from the game. I mean, how do we have that accountability, or how do we prevent ourselves from doing that?
Well, see, I think it definitely helps whenever you begin, like, whenever you have that group of friends or people who you talk to on a daily basis. Like, one way that I was woken up is that, my mom kind of gave me a heads up saying, hey, are you gonna be on your computer all day again today? And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And you're like, I had to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, she's right. The amount of time that I spend on this, machine is insane. But then, like, you brush it away. But then you have some of your friends just telling you, like, how your personality has changed, how, like, the types of ways, like, you talk and you think about things, it becomes different. And I think there's also, like, being a follower of Christ, if you are, like, very, I don't know, because, like, me as an individual, I pay attention to a lot of the things that I do. Like, if you just, you begin to realize when you've gone down a different path. And from that, I think it's just, instead of it happening, like, gradually, like, it just punches you right in the face. You're just like, man, this is, like, you're different. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying.
So, somebody posted in the chat, Lewis said, I'm not Christian, so I'm wondering, what do you mean by witness? One of you guys want to take that? So, are you talking about how it hurts your witness? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a follower of Christ, me personally, I want to represent. And that's one of the things I love about gaming, because it brings me, and even YouTube, I get to interact with so many people that don't know Christ, aren't Christians, and that's an awesome question, because I want to represent Christ to those people that don't know him, and I want to do a good job. I mean, I think there's a lot of Christians out there, myself included, that at times we are poor representatives of the person that we're supposed to be following. And the world sees that. They see, these Christians that are holding up signs saying that God hates you, and that, you're just basically the biggest sinner and everything like that. And they don't see too much of what Christ would look like. That's our call as the church today. We're supposed to represent Christ, carry on his mission. And so, my witness is trying to represent him, trying to show people, tell people about Christ, and tell people about the good news that, we have a Savior that came to this earth and died for us. And, we can have a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. Anything you guys want to add to that? Great question.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's the big thing of being a Christian, is, like, you hear the word hypocrites. Like, even other Christians will be like, I don't go to church because there's hypocrites at church, or you see, like, the people that are in scandals that are pastors, and so it's a bad representation of what we should be as Christians to those who aren't. Since part of our goal is to win people to Christ, if people are seeing all these bad characteristics in us, like, why would they want to come to a side where they're going to be called hypocrites, and they're going to be involved with the same things that people that they look down upon now, they're going to be part of that. And so, like, a lot of times people don't pursue Christianity or a relationship with Christ because they see their friends or people around them that are just like them, and it's not any different. And so if we're the same way as representing Christ, then like, why would they need to change?
Yeah. We've got to be that salt and light and look different, and absolutely, if I'm cussing somebody out, I'm not a good representative of Christ and who he was and who he is today. So, yeah. Cool. And I tell you what, if anybody out there who is watching this in the future too, if you got any questions, man, hit any one of us up. I'll put all the links to all our channels and Twitters in the comments of this video. We'd love to talk to you about Christ one-on-one, answer any kind of questions that you have. That's why we're doing this, man. I want to break stereotypes. I want to break stereotypes of what Christians look like and how Christians treat people, because I want to be full of grace and truth. Man, that's a goal. grace and truth. I want to tell people the truth, but I want to do so with compassion and whatnot. But
definitely.
But man, we've gone on almost an hour and a half. We probably should wrap this up, man. Future shows, man. I'd love to have Kingdom Soldier on here. There's so many people that I mentioned in the chat. Pretty much all of our friends in the chat and you know, in our group and everything like that. We'd love to have you one-on-one or one by one on these episodes and bring you in here and do that. So I'm not going to throw out any other names on there. But you know, we'd love to do this. We're going to try to do it on a weekly basis, Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So pray for us, and hopefully we can keep this going. You'll probably see some faces change here and everything like that. But that's the goal. That's the goal, and I'd love to develop the community aspect with Sakred Gaming. Definitely. To get that fellowship. I'd love to see Bible studies, man. Bible studies, you know, just telling people about Christ and helping them, you know, whether you're a Christian and you need to grow or you don't know Christ, man, I hope you feel welcome if you don't know Christ. I hope you feel welcome here and safe here to ask questions and be real. And if you are a Christian, you know, there's so many times that we put these fake masks on and pretend that, you know, hey, I'm not struggling with pornography or I'm not dealing with this, you know, and everything's good to go. Mm-hmm. You know, I hope you feel safe to share those things as well, because we've all probably struggled with the same things that everybody else is, and we got to quit wearing those masks. But any final thoughts? Let's go around. Who wants to go first? As you're going around, if you have any final thoughts, you don't have to say anything. If you want, you can just give your best Black Ops 3 trophy gesture that you want to give. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, Clee started out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess my name's Clee Clark again. You know, just an average dude. Thank you all for inviting me on the show. I guess I'm the first guest, I'm assuming. Yeah. Chris? Okay. Well esteemed, y'all. I was the first one y'all went to. All right. But
Nate Shot wouldn't come on, so.
Oh, okay, Tabs. All right, so Tabs is muted now. All right, so I'm just glad to see something like this being implemented, a positive way to like, I don't know, just talk to people like in a live stance, and I do hope that it continues, if anything grows. And from a gaming perspective, I really do like my dream. My dream is that, you know, Christians and gaming can really just coincide, and people realize that, you know, it's much more than just gaming. It's people. It's a love for each other, and I'll just leave it at that. You know, again, thank you all for having me on here, handsome older fellows.
And I'm having you on here more too. So
okay, hey, I'm definitely coming.
Yeah, Taboo.
Yeah, just I appreciate the opportunity for being on here, Judgment, with your invitation and everything. It's just such a cool community, and you guys in the chat, if you're watching this video, either live or on YouTube, this is a really good community of people to connect with. So if like you're looking for somebody with similar interests as you or whatever, and you need like people that you can kind of like, I don't know, count on or trust to be authentic. Like these are people that you want to hook up with right here on this screen, and there's several in the chat too. So I like to tell people what I'm praying for them, and my prayer always, I pray this over my family every night, that we would know God better tomorrow than we do today. So whether you're a believer or not, that's my prayer for you.
Absolutely awesome. Ocho?
So my name is Ocho Blanco. I have a Twitter account. One of the things that Jay was saying at his last part there, it reminded me of a scripture that it's one of my favorite scriptures, so I just wanted to read that real quick. It's the Gospel of John, first chapter, verse 14. Says, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." And so I know that's what our goal is to be full of grace, as we're not always condemning people, coming down on the bad things they're doing, and excuse me, but being graceful and being understanding and helping them along, and also being full of truth, in that we're not just letting things go because for the sake of not having conflict, but there's room for telling people the truth about what's going on, and that things are not as they should be, but that we can help them correct them. So I'm thinking of those opportunities. I know like Jay and I and some other people have been talking about doing this podcast for a long time. Finally, nice to be able to see it come to life and to be born and come into the world. And thanks, Taboo, for being able to do all the production work behind this. And looking forward to many more episodes.
Taboo's done all the XSplit and everything like that and got us up and going. I was worried about that, and it's nice to have you doing all that and doing such a good job with that. I can't wait to see where this goes. You know, there's a billion people playing video games every day. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, that's some serious opportunities to be gaming missionaries, you know, or to tell people about Christ. So, you guys didn't do your Black Ops 3 though trophy stands, man.
Oh yeah, guys, you got come on. Like I already told y'all.
Well, that's it for episode 1. Thank you guys. Thank you, Clee. Thank you, Taboo. Thank you, Corey. Awesome having you guys on here, Ocho, I should say. But yeah. Oh man, just too cool. But that's it. As always, take care and God bless.